What's up? It is September 17th. My bad. September 17th, 2019. I almost said 2018. This is episode 22, Half the Story Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome back. We are back after a couple weeks of going, and I do apologize. I really wanted to get one out last week, but things get rolling in life, and things are doing good. You're making a podcast every week, and then you don't do it for a week, and you start to feel bad, and then you, do all that stuff, and get on a roll, and then you just lose your roll for a minute. But I'm back on the track, back on the horse. Still struggling with making one every week, but we're back. If you hear a little howl in the background, that's just Walter because he's in his kennel. I can't be having him, mess up the film and stuff. So, we're back after 2 weeks. Like I said, I fell off the wagon again. I'm one day podcast sober, so we'll start again. We'll try again. We'll try and knock one out each week again. But we're back. And that's just kind of the way things go. And it's been I don't know if a rough is the word, because rough is also what dogs say when they try to communicate, but it was a difficult couple of weeks, couple past weeks, I guess, here in the beautiful state of Oregon, Portland, Oregon. Yeah, it was just a tough couple of weeks. You're dealing with some stuff, talked about last time, my job and everything like that, and it's getting better and stuff like that, and continues to get better. With everything, you change is hard. So just adjusting to some changes with that, and then some stuff with other stuff. And, we always, it's just work and, personal stuff. And you kind of battle through it, and it's getting better for sure. A lot of good things to look forward to. We've got... sometimes I forget that we have a wedding coming up, and I'm getting married in a year from now. So it feels like forever ago that we were boyfriend or girlfriend, but now we've been engaged for, 9 months now. Actually, probably 9 months, 10 months now. So yeah, I feel like I kind of forget that we're getting married sometimes, and we do have a wedding to plan. And that is a lot of bit of planning and a lot of bit of stress, but working out the kinks as we go. So it's good stress. It's a good time. And just with the job and with everything, and, it was tough couple of weeks, but we're back, and there's a lot to be excited for too, because we booked our plane tickets back to Iowa in October. We'll be back, want to say the 14th through the 27th of October. So we'll be back for 2 full weeks, and super crunk about that. Hopefully you can see everyone that we want to see. We ain't got no job when we get back, so we're just going to be hanging out. I want to try and see as many people as I can. Make sure I'm still friends with everyone and everyone's still cool. And, we're really excited to come back to Iowa. We've been missing it a lot. And, miss our families too. So just excited to get back and spend some time in good old Iowa weather in the fall, football, pumpkin patches and stuff like that. We're excited. That's coming up in 4 weeks. So I got getting paid time off for the first time ever in my life, so that's pretty exciting. Been saving up all my PTO to go on this lovely vacation back to Iowa, but wouldn't have any other vacation right now. We need it. We need to go back home. We need to see everyone. We need to get our loving fix from our family and our friends. So excited to get back to Iowa in the very near future. So we'll keep you updated on that. Again, middle of October 14th through the 27th, I think. I'm not doing any podcasts probably that week. Hopefully I'll get one out maybe right before we leave. Hopefully I'll get one out right before we leave, and then be another 2-week break unless I feel ambitious and make another episode and bank it and then just upload it at another time. So what's been going on? Oh, starting to feel a lot like fall, as they say. You know, summer came and it went, and it's still hot out sometimes, but now it's getting kind of rainy and cold, and starting to feel a lot like fall. We had our AC on just a week ago, and now we're already turning on the heat a little bit here and there. So yeah, starting to feel like fall. The leaves are changing, and for me personally, fall is my favorite time of the year. October is my favorite month of the year. I love the weather. I love the football. I love the Halloweens. I love the pumpkins, the scary nights, the scary frights, black cats on fences. And I love full moons too. So, and on Friday, the 13th of September, there's a full moon, but I didn't see it. So I don't really love full moons that much, but you get what I'm saying. October is a great month, and I'm super excited. End of September is okay too. So, with that being said, yeah, football is back too. So, if you like football, like most Americans that are American like football, yeah, you're excited that it's back. College football, NFL, fantasy football is back. And if you ain't into fantasy football, you're like I was 3 years ago. And the first year I played fantasy football, you know, I'm not going to say I mopped up, but I got first place. So beginner's luck, they say, in fantasy football. Last year didn't go my way, but this year we're off to a good start, 1-1, and my fantasy team is doing pretty good. So crunk about that. Fantasy football makes the games more exciting. Gives you something to root for even in the games that are meaningless, so to say. And kind of shifted over to the dark side of the past couple of years, and I've found myself becoming a Packers fan. So Packers are 2-0 and they're doing pretty good, so let's keep that up. So yeah, I'm glad football's back. Yeah, college football's back. Iowa State just had game day there, and it looked way crunk. I wish I was there. Of course, the year we leave away, college game day comes by. Yeah, it looked crunk. But yeah, college football, NFL is back. We're excited. And I know Christy hates it that I watch football all Saturday or Thursday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday night. But, you know, when you grew up playing and you grew up doing that as a kid, and I even coached football for 5 years in junior high. Shout out to Pete Junior High, Cedar Falls, Iowa. Go Tigers. And it just, one of those things about fall is football. So, you know, fall football, it's kind of like pumpkin spice and sweaters, you know, on chicks, you know, they just go together. So I don't know. It's what I did as a kid. I watched football growing up, and played a little bit in high school, and watched a little bit and coached a little bit. So I know I identify like many Americans that football is a good pastime. But at the same time, I'm not psycho about it, you know. I don't yell at the TV about football. I don't have many jerseys at all. And one thing that always stuck out to me was, and you know, I've worn jerseys before, but I never really thought of it until I think it was Mike Dolce was talking about, or someone talked about, like, why would you have another man's name on your back? Like, why? And I know that sounds weird, but I don't know. maybe you just root for them. I mean, I can root for them without buying their jersey, but then at the same time, like another person said, they don't. It's not that they don't care about you. It is a business, but I mean, if I didn't watch football, the world would probably be fine. And like, there's probably better things to do with your time than watching football, is what I'm saying. But yet, if it brings you joy, if it brings you a way to bond with your family and friends over the barbecue and the football game, I think it's got its place everywhere. So certainly for me, it does. So yeah, excited football's back. Fantasy's going well. What else? Oh, the past couple weekends, what did we do? I think 2 weekends ago, maybe, or a week ago, I can't remember. We went to, I think it's called Ape Caves. It's in Washington, next to Mount St. Helens. Let me look that up quick. Ape Cave. Yeah, it's in Washington. And it's some long-ass lava tubes from Mount St. Helens. When it erupted, it kind of, all the juice came out of the tube. And it's just like an empty tube that you can walk through. And it was a lot of fun. There's 2 tubes. Sorry. There's 2 lava tubes you can go through, and you got to bring flashlights and stuff and wipe your feet off before you go in because of the bats. But we didn't see any bats. So you go on these 2 tubes, and you were walking through the lava tubes, and it's pitch black, and it's just like literally like what you would think in a movie, like when you're watching Tremors or something like that, or Starship Troopers, and it's just like these underground tubes. It's really cool. It's pitch black, and then you'd see people ahead of you with like the lights on and stuff like that. So you go through this easy one, and then the next one's like 1.5 miles long. So we hiked above ground and went through the back door of this tube. So we hiked up, went down to the little tube butt of the tube, cave tube, and we went in the back way. And most people come in through the front, but we came through the back of the tube, and we got through the back and went through the front and ended in the front of the tube. And that was the way to go because we were the only people there going through the back of the tube, and most people come through the front. So if you can imagine, we were crossing paths with people. And I don't know what I'm trying to talk about. I just think it's kind of funny that I keep up bringing up going through the back of the tube. That's kind of perverted a little bit, but we went through the back of the tube and we walked back, and it was like it was about 1.5 miles of advanced darkness. If you've ever seen SpongeBob, it was advanced dark in there. So you definitely need a light, and there's like boulders and like little tunnel, like you have to crawl, but there's like little tunnels you have to walk through. And you bring your flashlights and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. But by the time you're done, you're like, man, that was cool, but let's get out of these tubes. So we did that a couple weekends ago. It's called Ape Caves. It's free. Just got to bring some flashlights and go down through them tubes. But if you go through the back of the tube and go down and come out the front, if you know what I'm saying. So that was a lot of fun. So we've been doing a lot of traveling up north to our neighbors in the north, Washington State. We did that. What else has been going on? Oh, this past weekend, 2 days ago, I guess it was yesterday, 2 days ago, and then yesterday we went to Goat Lake, which is also up north in Washington. A little past St. Helens, out in the middle of nowhere. You take a gravel road for an hour to get there. There's no cell service. Kind of creepy. But yeah, you get there and you hike. It's about a 13-mile hike. It's like a loop. But halfway through the loop, you go up all these mountains and stuff to this lake called Goat Lake. And the only way you can see this lake is by flying or from satellite. Actually, I don't even think it's on satellite because I looked on Google Maps. Or no, it is there on Google Maps. So the only way to see it is via satellite or plane or helicopter or air balloon or drone. Or you have to literally walk up to the lake. There's no sneak peeks. There's no, oh, I can see the lake from that way. You can see a little bit of the tail of the lake. And by that, I mean there's a little waterfall runoff from the lake. But you actually have to hike up to the lake, which is a good, 6.5, 7 miles. And we started our hike at like 5:30 on Sunday night. Hiked until about 8:30 when it got really dark. Set up our tent and stuff. Spent the night out in the wilderness. We were the only people out there, we think, because there's no other cars in the parking lot. And then woke up at like 4:30, had to pee. So then we decided just to start hiking. And the sun didn't come up till about 6:45. So we hiked a good, hour and a half-ish in darkness on the way up to the Goat Lake. So we got up to Goat Lake right around sunrise at about 7. And it was very beautiful and overlooking this huge valley. I posted pictures on Facebook and Instagram. Looks over this whole valley, and you can see Mount Adams in the distance. And then there's this Goat Lake, and then this waterfall down into the valley. This is really pretty, and the water was like green, turquoise, bluish, very pristine, very pretty. So definitely worth the hike. Could easily, you could do it in a day if you wanted to. A lot of people do. But it was cool to go backpacking, I guess. And weather held out. A little wet, a little rainy, cold, but it held out. And I did the hike on the way down from Goat Lake. We were hiking back, and old bird eyes over here. I got good vision. Saw a little mountain goat in the distance. This little white, Q-tip on the mountainside, and it turned out to be a mountain goat. So that was kind of cool. We got to see a goat from about 600 yards away. So it looked like a little Q-tip walking up the mountain. But nonetheless, we saw a white goat, and we haven't seen much wildlife in Oregon. So that was definitely a cool thing. So shout out to that place. I definitely recommend it. Like I said, you could do it in a day, but you're looking at about an 8-hour hike plus, 3-hour drive there and back. So long day, but lots of fun on that little hike and stuff. So, that kind of wrapped up these last couple weeks. What else? What else has been going on? Let's see. We went to the Ape Caves. We went to Goat Mountain. Oh, this was like 2 weeks ago, I think. I went to 7-Eleven to get a pop one night. And there was this girl standing in line with 2 bottles of wine. I don't think they're expensive wine because it was at 7-Eleven, but she had 2 bottles of wine, some of those spicy nacho or spicy Doritos, the nacho cheese, the spicy kind, which I like. One of those like the kid size bags, and then she had a pregnancy test with her in her hand too, which she got at 7-Eleven. And then she had a can of Mountain Dew, which I also like. So she had 2 bottles of wine, a pregnancy test, spicy nacho Doritos, and a Mountain Dew. And I was a gentleman and let her go ahead of me in line. But I thought it was weird. Not weird, actually. But she was ready to party because if she was pregnant, she had the wine, she had the Doritos, she got a pop for the kid. You know, everyone was gonna have something to drink there. So shout out to that girl. You know, planning ahead, getting drinks for everyone in the party that's involved. So thought that was kind of interesting, man. You just see a lot of weird things in the city that you don't normally see in smaller towns. You know, it's just weird as heck sometimes what you see here. But that's why I love it and I hate it, as they say, you know. 'Cause man, it's almost like, I don't know, you just get used to it, seeing some weird stuff. You know, a couple of days ago, we saw this dude was driving this semi in like rush hour traffic on like two lane road, like one of the busiest roads here, and he was trying to turn his semi like 2 lane road to another 2 lane road, so it was like super tight, and he was like super stressed out. And this guy in this like way nice BMW, like the semi was like trying to double like turn, like really turn, and this guy was trying to sneak by him to turn right because the semi was turning left, and he like must have got way too close up in the semi, and then he was like honking his horn. We're like, oh, what's going on? And like he was like honking, and then like as the semi was turning, it like clipped his BMW and just like ripped the whole side of it off, and the guy was just like, he did one of those faces, and we were like, oh damn, dude, that sucks. And yeah, dude, that would suck to drive a semi in the city, especially during rush hour, and especially during like 2 lane traffic, trying to like move a semi, and then like everyone's honking and like the lights turning green on the other side, and like this dude's like shredded BMW is just sitting there like crazy. Like, so yeah, it was just another day driving to work, and man, you see some weird stuff, especially kind of where I'm at work, for real. Yeah, work's been going okay. I know you're probably wondering about that. It's getting better, you know. My coworkers are cool and stuff, and we went out for a drink one day after work and did some of that kind of like bonding stuff you do with your coworkers and stuff. I think that's important. Man, it's just a weird place, I should say. Definitely it's tough on the soul. And yeah, but we'll see. It's getting a little bit better. It's not getting easier, but I'm getting more comfortable being uncomfortable, because man, you see some stuff, and yeah, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, I have some other things written down here, but I don't know if I want to talk about them. Dude, you know what I really hate? And you're going to know exactly what I like. First off, I hate it if I can feel it. Second of all, if I see it, like, I don't care how good looking you are, it's a turn off. I ain't talking about women. But you ever like look at a guy, and like guys, we have hair, and like you look at a guy and he looks pretty good. And like everything's lining up, except for the back of his neck. That don't line up. I'm talking like where when you get a haircut, they kind of do like the U thing on the back of the neckline. And you ever see a dude where just like, you know, he hasn't gotten a haircut in like 3 weeks, and the back of his head's like there's like and it's usually just one side, because with me it's like one side, but like the back of his neck, or my neck too, I do this too, the back, like the head hair just like starts going down to the shoulders and like the traps, and it just looks like it's usually just one side, and it's like, what is going on there? It looks so stupid. And mind you, my hair does this too. So like, but I always do like a check, because you can like check a little bit and tell if that stuff's tamed or not. Dude, I hate that when your neck gets like that. Ugh. And then when I see dudes, I judge them so hard. like that I don't even know what to call it. Just the behind the neck like extension. It's like just one side too. I don't like. It's gross. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So next time you're like standing in line at a 7-Eleven, waiting for this chick to buy wine and pregnancy test and a Mountain Dew and Doritos, and there's some guy standing in front of you, just look at the back of his neck. And it's usually someone who means well and tries to like, they're just hairier. Maybe they're like Greek or something or something like that. But, they probably try hard, but, they don't got someone at home. It's usually single guys too because, they don't have anybody at home to like keep them lined up in the back. So usually that's what you should look for. It's usually a guy who's single. And most of the time it's dark hair because that pops out to me most. Like blackish, like Italian hair. But yeah, next time you see that, hopefully you think of me and me talking about this. And hopefully you're like, ugh, I hope that's never me or my son. Like if I grew up with a son like that has that hair, dude, I'm making sure it's clean cut. And I bet barbers hate it too. They're like, oh, I can't. Like for some people like popping pimples or something like that, or like picking scabs, or like some people like are weird about like, ooh, let me like peel the tape off or something like that, or like those kind of things. Like I want to be like shaving the back of dudes' heads as they're in line at 7-Eleven, like just the back neck part, because like, man, if I ever see a dude out on a date with a girl, I'm going to point that out to her, and that's like a red flag. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Keep those necks tight, and if you got a girl or you got some other, team up with a couple of guys, you got a bad neck, call your friends over each, I do you, you do me. We keep our necks lined up a little bit. And yeah, I think that would really help out just my morale too, if we all had our necks lined up a little bit better. Man, I can't stand that. And you know what I mean when I say it. And the next time you see it, I hope you say something to me about it. Because, man, there's some bad necks out there. And, yeah, what else? So this is something I've been struggling with too. Probably ever since I was able to walk and reach the countertop. And we all have our sweet tooth or our sweet teeth. Some of us identify as candy lovers. Some of us identify as chocoholics. And some of us, we got sweet teeth, we got sweet tooth, whatever it may be. 1 second, let me wet my whistle. This podcast is brought to you by Spalding and Shaw, PLC, Nathaniel D. Stout, attorney at law. And if you have any legal stuff that you need done, maybe talk to him, because he's up and coming. And he's out of Des Moines, so check him out if you got a problem in Des Moines and you need a solution. But yeah, this episode is brought to you by Mio Energy. And I don't have any sponsors, but if they hear this and want to sponsor me, send me some of that black cherry, because the black cherry is my favorite flavor. A meal is pretty much just food coloring for your water that tastes like black cherry. So yeah, shout out to Nate Stout doing the lawyer thing, attorney at law in Des Moines. So where was that? Oh yeah. So this is what I've struggled with in a long time, has been that midnight chocolate. And you probably might call it something else. Midnight Laffy Taffy, midnight sugar bear, or a midnight graham cracker. But for me, it's midnight chocolate. And hopefully you all can relate, is when we sleep, we get hungry. And when you wake up, you ever just wake up feverishly just malnourished and you need something sweet? And like when I wake up, I need chocolate in the middle of the night. I don't care if it's, I got an hour of sleep, I got 6 hours of sleep. I mean, I'm like a bear trying to get some honey. As soon as I wake up, I'm trying to get some chocolate. I don't care if I'm sleepwalking. I don't care if I'm, at a friend's house and I know they got a snack drawer somewhere. I need something I don't even know why I do, but, I always try to eat some chocolate in the middle of the night. And people call it a midnight snack, but I like to call it midnight chocolate. And, yeah, it's been going on ever since I was little. Yeah, so if you have brownies in the house, or if we have brownies or cookies or anything like that, my mom used to put them in the microwave to like keep them fresh and stuff, especially brownies. And some of my most fondest memories are waking up in the middle of the night and sneaking into the kitchen and clicking up the microwave, but trying to do it like really quietly. So I would like hold the microwave door and then like push the button like really slow so it like clicks just like a little click, and then like slowly open it so it doesn't like make a loud noise when it opens. So like push the button, like hear the click, and just like slowly open the microwave door. And then I would like put both hands in and like oven mitts like Tom Cruise and like grab both sides of the brownie pan and like without touching like the glass thing in the microwave and like set it on the counter. And then like I slowly take the knife and like cut off a sliver of the brownie, but I'd always cut like a huge chunk. And like if you ever measuring it before bed and then like when you woke up, like taking a before and after picture, it probably looked like someone straight like murdered that brownie pan, because I was generous at midnight when I wanted brownies. So you take the brownie pan, you set it down, like make sure everything's on like towel or something so it didn't make any more noise. Like you cut a slice of brownie and then you eat that. And then you like, oh, it's so good. And then you like maybe, like usually I'd get like a second sliver of it. I'd be like, all right, just one more, like for my trip back to my room, because you had to be quiet, so it took a little longer. And then you like get like oven mitts and like pick it up and then like gently put it on the glass thing in the microwave, and then like hold the button down on the microwave and shut the door, and then like slowly let up on the button so like no one heard you. So I would do that throughout my childhood, whether it was brownies or cookies or snacks or anything kind of delicious too. I'm trying to think. Never with meat though. Mostly with sweets and chocolate. I mean, if it had chocolate on it, it had when midnight struck, it was, it was gone. So, yeah, let me know if you do that too, because I feel like it's kind of a running joke, but it's also kind of funny. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. So if I get it out in the open and you maybe enjoy a good midnight snack. Oh, dude, another thing too is when I got a little healthier, I would get Cliff Bars and eat those in the middle of the night. And those are like 300 calories. But then I would actually put peanut butter on top of the Cliff Bar and put extra chocolate chips on top of that peanut butter on top of the Cliff Bar and have that as a midnight snack. So, but yeah, let me know what you think about that, if you've ever done that, because if you've done that, you're just like me. So, yeah, that's all I can really think about that. So, yeah, midnight chocolate. Get that midnight chocolate. I'm just looking on Twitter right now. It says they're trying to remake The Princess's Bride, and everyone's uproared about that. So we'll see what happens with that if they make that movie. They're always trying to remake stuff that's good. It's never as good. No one saw the new Lion King remake, the digitally remastered live action remake. Yes, that'd be interesting. I mean, I'd watch it, but what else? Yeah, the UFC fights this past weekend were pretty good. Justin Gaethje beat Donald Cerrone. Man, I hope um, Justin Gaethje and Connor fight. That would be sweet. Um, what else? Let me see if I have anything else on this one. Kind of already talked about the back of the neck hair. Man, ain't it kind of nice too? I mean, you might be a guy or a girl. Is if you date someone or you're getting married to someone that doesn't finish their food. Ugh. When I say that is that's a good thing, but don't you hate when you see people? Dude, I hate when I spend like $30 on a meal for two people, and then like we eat all our food or take it to go, but then like the people next to us like take 6 bites of it and then like leave all happy, like, and like they leave like half their wine glass there. It's like, dude, I hate that so much. Like, finish the pizza. And that's an old joke from Nate and Clay. So if you ever see someone wasting food, say finish the pizza. And I think that joke started as they were watching. Remember those shows on MTV that were like the dating shows where it was like 3 guys and 1 girl, and it was like half an hour show, and they do like a 10-minute date, and like they'd be like, we're gonna take you like skydiving for 10 minutes, and like the next person's like, I'm gonna take you to like a pizza parlor and like get to know you, and like the last one would be like, I'm gonna do we're gonna go on like this thing where we put on those sumo suits and like fight each other, those like inflatable ones, you know. And then I think they were watching that. And you know, in those shows, they're like always talking and stuff. And they're like, they're at a pizza place or something. And they're like talking. And it's like, let's get out of here. Like, blah, blah, blah. Let's get out of here. And like they've taken like half a bite of their pizza. Anyways, I think they were watching that. And he's like, just finish the pizza. So that's kind of funny. Dude, you know what else I just thought of too? Remember the show Room Raiders? Oh, that was so cool. If you don't know what Room Raiders is, Google it. Dude, that was a good show. And Room Raiders was about, like, they would have 3 guys or 3 girls. And it was so cheesy, but yet awesome. I always wanted to be on the show way bad. I was like, dude, oh my gosh, I was on the show. But Room Raiders was like, so if I'm like the guy who wants to date these chicks, so I would be like the main guy, and then they would get 3 chicks, and like they would literally like I said, it's so phony, but like they would like run to their house and like kidnap them and throw them in the back of this van, and like sometimes they would be like, grab them, they'd be like in a towel, and they'd be like, I just got out of the shower. And then like other times they'd be like, oh, I just got, off my work, I'm in my work clothes. And like, so there'd be like 2 chicks in the back of a van, one like in a towel, like one in her scrubs, and like another girl like, I just got off my shift, like the strip club, and she'd be like in her like strip club clothes. And then like, so it'd be 3 chicks in the back of a van, and then they have like a TV monitor in the van. And then it'd be like, what's up? My name's Andy. You're on Room Raiders. And he would go to each one of the chicks' rooms. And usually, like 9 times out of 10, these girls still lived at their parents' house. So it was like super weird and awkward. Like, if I was a parent, I would not let some random dude from MTV just come into my house and go through my daughter's like bedroom, like going through her like panty drawer and stuff like that. So anyways, fast forward. So the guy who's like, yo, my name's like Austin, like I love football and all that stuff, like I'm a good catch, football joke. And then like the girls would be like, oh, he's hot. And then so they'd all be like watching him as he goes through like each girl's room at their parents' house, and he'd like go through the room and he'd be like, oh, let's see what's on the computer, let's search the history. And it would be like all this weird stuff. And then like he'd be like, he would do this. He'd be like, let's look in the drawers. And then like he'd like look through the panty drawers and stuff like that. And they like hold up the panties and be like, okay. Dude, that show was so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, so he would just like go through the panty drawers and be like, I wonder what's underneath the mattress. And like flip up the mattress and there'd be like, girl stuff underneath there and stuff. And they'd be like, dang, she must be freaky. And then like at the end of the episode, they're like, all right, girls, it's your turn. And then the girls would get out of the van and like, we're gonna raid his room. So like they'd go up and like they'd all three like be in his room, like throwing like clothes and stuff like that. And be like, oh, let's look at his history. Let's search his history. And like, they'd be like, oh, he likes football because he has like cleats here. Oh my gosh. And then he'd like come into the house. He'd be like, whoa, what are all you doing in here? And then he'd have to choose the girls based on the room because he didn't know which girl was to which room. So there'd be like 3 hot chicks here usually. And then like the one guy would be like, I didn't really like, there was some dust, on your ceiling fan. I got to get rid of you. And then like the hottest chick would be like, that was me. Sorry. My dad didn't clean. And then he'd be like, oh man. Oh, I should have picked that chick with the dust. And then like he'd be like, all right, it's down to 2 girls. Like the one chick, like, she had a tennis racket there, so, I know she's athletic. And then he's like, but then the other chick, I saw like colored pencils, so I know she likes art. And then he'd be like, it's a tough choice. And then he'd be like, I'm going to go with the tennis racket girl. And then she'd be like, oh, shoot. And then the colored pencil girl would be like, sorry, you could have had this. And then like she would walk out and then he'd be like, yes, I knew, man, your tennis racket was cool. Your tennis racket was really cool. I knew I'd pick you. And she'd be like, oh my God, you like football. Dude, I should have wrote for that show because that's funny. That is pretty funny. So, yeah, Room Raiders. Man, that was a good show. I just pretty much ruined the whole show for you, though. So, man, that was really good. Funny show. Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about some more of that. So, but yeah, if you get a chance, watch Room Raiders. Man, I don't even know where to go from there. So, glad to be back doing the podcast. And hopefully I'll get one out to you later this week, early next week. And thank you guys for the support. As always, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter. I don't ever post anything. Facebook. We've got SoundCloud, YouTube's, iTunes, where to find us on there. If you can, throw a subscription in there, like us, rate us on iTunes. Anything helps me. I would be appreciative either way. So if you like it, if you like Room Raiders, if you like Heating at Midnight, if you hate the back of the neck hair that goes down to the traps, give this page a like. As always, guys, I will see you next time. This is episode 22, Taylor Swift edition. I'm out.